Welcome to the very first episode of my channel, where today we're going to compare two lenses that I have not seen compared yet on YouTube, and I don't know why. The infamous Nikon 14-24 2.8G against the 17-28Z mount version. One is $1,200, one is half the price on eBay. We will compare the photos once I get back to the studio afterward, check corner sharpness, all the good stuff. Stay tuned. I hope my voice isn't sounding too bad. I'm kind of recovering after a couple weeks from being sick. I had this massive sore throat, swelled up my whole throat. Couldn't actually talk for about 4 days. So we're getting back there, we're getting back. We got a nice little fence, some mountain views in the background. Should be plenty to test out the lenses, and yeah. I brought my smaller tripod today because the plate for the to mount the camera on the tripod is smaller, and I can use it with the chunky F2.8G adapter that I'll be using on the 14-24. Honestly, this is another gorgeous little scene right here. I think I might have to stop and give this one a try too. Okay, it looks like I've got a decent composition here. I'm gonna go ahead and get the tripod and try setting this up. The nice thing is that the other lens is so small, I'm gonna try and just put it in my pocket. Oh man, this is dangerous. Quick couple of shots, didn't need to do a whole lot more there to get the point. Just hope they're both sharp because I didn't have the best tripod set up today. Positive, didn't need to use any ND filters because it was dark enough, and shooting at f11, f16, I could still get 1/8, 1/6 of the second, which was just enough for that beautiful water flow blur. I thought I'd show you why I was so happy I didn't have to use ND filters. Because with the 14-24, I have to put this apparatus on. This screws on around the lens, kind of this, and you've got these massive filters. And this is really the old school way, you know, this is how I used to take all my landscapes back in the day. Of course, now things have gone smaller and lighter, but if you're still in the market for a wide angle zoom lens, the 14-24 still has fantastic image quality, but you would have to use massive 145 millimeter filters. All right, so we're back, and we're going to take a look at a couple of the picture files and compare sharpness on the corners and that sort of thing, and at different apertures, 2.8, 5.6, and f11. What I didn't do was try different focal lengths. I mainly just tried both these lenses at their widest angles. So 17 millimeters for both lenses, and then a couple of times I zoomed out to 14 on the 14 to 24 just to show a little bit of what you'd be missing with 17 millimeters. Okay, here we are looking at both images side by side. They were shot both on the Z8 and with just auto white balance. So sometimes you can see that there's a slight color difference here just right out of the camera with the auto white balance. 14 to 24 on the left here, 17 to 28 on the right. I'll warm this up a little bit just to make them look similar, and then we'll go on ahead and take a look. Right away, it looks like the 17 to 28 is a tad bit sharper in the center. And a little bit on the edges too, it appears. Just a tiny bit sharper. The 14 to 24 might be a little bit more smoother across the contrast. Like this is a little bit harsher with the contrast. This is a little bit more, this might have better micro contrast, you could say. You can look at the trees side by side there. There's quite a difference. And let's look at the rock. Overall, very similar. And when we come to the corners here, these are both kind of ugly here. And coming down. Yeah. And the rock here. Pretty similar there. I mean, you know, in some way I like the color a little bit more out of this lens. Whatever it's doing. They both look great. It's really kind of a personal preference. You can get away with either looking perfectly fine. So that is the first image at f11. Okay, now we're going to look at the 2.8 version. We have the 14 to 24 again on the left and the 17 to 28 on the right. I'm thinking we'll just skip the 5.6. We'll just go to the two extremes of the aperture, 2.8 and 11. If you guys think I should have put the 5.6 in, just let me know. So, all right, back to center sharpness. Okay, let's see. Again, I think the edge goes to the 17 to 28 just a little bit. You can see. Let's look at these the signs there. You can pretty much see a difference there. All right, corner, let's go right down the middle here. Let's see. Okay. More contrast in the 17 to 28 lens as well. Let's see, we got the blur. That's right, we're at 2.8. So background's a little out of focus, like it should be. Let's look at the corners. More in focus here on the 17 to 28. You know, but yeah, the rock a little bit more. And let's see these sticks here. And you can see, yeah, a little sharper here on the 17 to 28, a little less, yeah, just sharper. So that's the two of those compared. All right, now let's go ahead and compare these two waterfall pictures. So we have the 14 to 24 on the left, 17 to 28 on the right again. Okay, and let's start with the center. And these are taken both at f11. I'd say they look pretty much identical here. And let's take a look at the rock here. Similar. This one looks actually sharper. It could be, I believe I had the same focus points. I tried, but who knows? And let's see the corner. 14 to 24 is looking sharper here in the corners for some reason. And let's look to the corner here. Also 14 to 24 looking slightly sharper. Again, it's subtle though. Let's go down here. There must have been a slight focus difference. You know, the tripod did move a little bit because, like I said, when I put that heavier 14 to 24 on, it kind of moved a bit. And then just to compare, we'll show you what it looks like going from 14 to 17. So quite, those little 3 extra millimeters makes quite a big difference. Should put the, yeah. So there it is, that's at 14 millimeters. And at f11, and you know, there's still some softness around the edges. It's still a nice image, you know, if you add some sharpening. You got it. Still a great lens. All right, so the conclusion. So these two lenses, you can see the difference in size right here. This one quite a bit heavier, massive front element, and then this one a lot lighter, smaller, just 67 millimeter filter thread size. Yeah, $1,200 and $600, and then maybe another $100 if you want the FTZ adapter, the first generation. So about half the price, or you know, a third of the price at least, cheaper getting the 14 to 24 2.8. Plus you get the extra 3 millimeters on the wide end. 24 to 28, not big of a difference. 28 millimeter is nice when it comes to things like people and portraits, or just being, it just has a little bit more of a natural feel, not so wide as 24. Now, why did I decide to get this one over the 14 to 24? I'm mainly a portrait photographer. That's what I do. And I have the Tamron 35 to 150 on my primary camera body. And for my second camera body, I thought about throwing the 17 to 28 on, because it's light, small, and just kind of, it's there if I need a wide angle shot, or if I'm in a tight position, small room, I want to get a little more versatility with the amount of focal lengths I have available. So yeah, with two camera bodies, I now have the focal range from 17 to 150, 17 to 28 at 2.8, and then 35 to 150 from f2 to 2.8. I think it's a pretty good setup for event photography and portraits. That being said, the reason why I made this video today is because I sold this lens for $500. I paid over 2,300 euro for this lens, maybe 5-6 years ago. So it's an incredible deal to the guy who's getting it tomorrow. Yeah, if you're in the same position of having a mirrorless camera, Nikon Z camera, and you want a wide angle lens, it's good for landscapes and astrophotography, don't count this one out, man. It's you can pick these up cheap now, and you're getting Nikon, you know, gold stripe lens quality. Not as good, of course, as the Nikon S lenses on the Z mount, but I mean, as you can see, even between this Z lens and this G lens, the image quality to your average person is going to be negligible. So I hope you guys enjoyed that quick, non-technical comparison between those two lenses. I know I was interested and had to get it done quick today before this lens left my possession tomorrow. If you like the video, please subscribe, drop me any comments. Happy to answer any questions, that sort of thing. Next video will be kind of a similar adventure. I'm a portrait photographer, like I said, so I usually have to drive up to Tahoe, about 20 minutes away. I'll record some video on the way, see some scenery, and then, yeah, kind of just show the ropes through some of these photo sessions. And, yeah, never know what I'm going to talk about sometimes, but it's not always going to be photography oriented. So, yeah, see you next time.